Dun 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 dun. I had something crazy happen to me yesterday morning. I was walking through Kroger. I normally walk through Kroger because I don't like to run. And there's a Starbucks in this Kroger. On the back side it said Starbucks. There's old people that hang out and drink coffee in the morning, and you can hear them loudly ranting about things like the government. And you can hear them multiple aisles over because they're all hard of hearing and they talk very loud. And I had my 5-year-old with me, dude, and we're picking up some bananas or apples or whatever for his school.
Apples and bananas?
Apples and bananas. That's right. And we get the apples, and then we have to pass by this table of old people who are usually complaining about shit. So I'm ready for the complaints I'm about to hear, which are normally just dumb complaints that I could care less about. But today was extra special for me because one of these guys is Asian. And he was trying to say something, and he kept saying, "Back wall, back, and one of the old white guys goes, "You mean Black Rock?" And he goes, "That's it. Fucking Black Rock. Black Rock fucking everything up." And it was loud, dude. And I had to take everything inside of my soul to not die laughing as I'm walking by this table. And the only thing I wished in the universe is that my son was old enough that he would have understood how funny that was, so I could have shared that moment with him. So it was great, dude. I got to that aisle, like the register, like... So this dude, and I was standing there, and I finally started laughing.
So this dude wasn't working there. This dude was a
patron. Yeah, it's a group of old people that just go and have coffee in the morning and sit at a table and catch up and then go on about their day.
They're podcasters.
Basically. Yeah, somebody needs to be recording that. For sure. Yeah. The day before, that same guy and the same old white dude were out front. I caught them. I was going in as they were leaving. And they were bitching about a car that's been parked too long in the back of the parking lot. And the Asian guy was like, "Who do we call? Like, do we call like, not the 911, right? No mercy, but we need to do something about this." And I'm like, oh, these dudes are just getting lit up on double shots and then just trying to solve problems that no one cares about. I was like, it's Kroger, the parking lot. It's never full. This abandoned car. It's obviously a poor person that can't fix their car already, dude. Like, you're about to make their life real bad. Yeah.
I've always wondered what it would be like to have that few of problems in your life that you have to, like, worry about that type of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I hope I get there one day.
Like I understand, like, a lot of people in general, they kind of make up problems in their own life.
Mm-hmm.
But for something completely external like that.
Yeah, you could tell they don't have anything to do all day.
Like most of the stuff I'm talking about when people make up problems is like, oh, my self-esteem is low, or what, you know, that kind of thing. Like some of the mental health problems, some of that stuff. Some of it is like they just have too easy of a life, and like something gets a little bit hard and they're like, I'm depressed, when really it's like, no, you're just feeling things. Yes. You know? And but to have something completely external from yourself consume you for an entire morning like that is fucking a level of problemlessness that
you can't even fathom it, right?
No.
There's shit to do during the day.
Dude.
None of it is that.
Dude.
But yeah, when I have to go to Kroger in the mornings, dude, I get a good chuckle every time I go to that Kroger.
I want to come to Kroger with you in the morning.
Every single time. There's been numerous times where I have time and I'm like, man, I should just get a coffee and sit down with them. But
yeah,
I also don't want to make them feel uncomfortable in their spot. They've picked it out, you know. They meet there every morning. I don't want to be the guy that they're like, fuck, is that guy going to show up again?
I mean, if you just, which this would be impossible. I think it'd be okay if you just sat down and shut the fuck up.
And that wouldn't happen, though.
It would be impossible.
Yeah, I'd go, what are we talking about today, guys?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, what?
Like, what? Go the fuck home.
Yeah, they'd probably just roll right into it. I just adopt grandparents. Next thing I know, I'm wiping strangers' butts. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to sit down at that table. I just think about it.
You can be in their will.
Maybe.
But that might be a whole bunch of fucking problems
yeah.
that are externally yourself, depending on the situation they leave you with.
Yeah, Will read just such. My new friend Waylon gets to divvy up what my kids get. And I'm all, what the fuck? Okay.
Or my good friend Waylon gets everything when I'm gone. And it turns out they're gone and everything is just a fuck ton of debt.
Yeah, a fuck ton of debt and a house full of rats.
Yeah.
Yeah, no thank you. I'll just keep walking through life alone. That'd be fine. Yeah, I don't think I want to meet. Yeah, no, I'm not going to meet him, dude. I'm just going to keep living this fun little thing where I'll walk by and catch
Just imagine
snippets
what
of
it's like.
conversations.
Yeah, just sometimes it's kind of like meeting your heroes. You're never supposed to meet your heroes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more fun to just keep that little air of mystery.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about like meeting heroes? Have you ever gotten to?
I wouldn't say hero. I mean, I don't have
Like you ain't met Dale Earnhardt?
Like, I don't have, like, celebrity heroes. Like, I never really have. I've never really been, like, never really thought celebrities were that big of a deal.
What
You know
about
what I
like
mean?
other things?
What do you mean?
I don't know, like fucking, I don't know, somebody that builds a monster truck or some shit.
Fucking, are you talking about Denny Anderson? Fucking Gravetaker, dude?
Yeah, there you go.
Fucking
What about that
Gravedigger?
dude?
Yeah, I've met people like that. I've met, like, people that are in bands.
Just never impressed.
I mean, yeah, but they're just fucking people, man.
Yeah, that's how I've always looked at it too. But I don't think I've ever been like
I'm
abruptly disappointed meeting someone up.
I've never met like fucking like somebody the caliber of like a Michael Jackson or something like that. You know what I mean? Or like, I think that's a different level of weird. But like the people I've met are like they're like singers and shit from metal bands and like they're or like reggae bands, shit like that. They're just fucking people that get on a stage. You know?
Yeah. I hear stories of people being like, I don't want to meet them because you're not supposed to meet your idols. But I'm always just like, no, dude, go for it. That's how you learn shit.
Well, I think sometimes it's a little weird to have like idols, sort of, a little bit.
I think we all do though. Right? Like I'm not real big into sports, but I'll wear a Tim Lehigh shirt, you know? Like still like a fanboy, just in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think everybody does. It's just
Yeah,
a
look,
lot of people don't have like the norm of
But
what
I
people
wouldn't
would consider.
like I could definitely like fanboy out on some kind of random weird type shit. But like I wouldn't call him an idol per se. I know what you're saying, but I wouldn't like.
Okay.
In my head, like the term idol comes with a whole bunch of baggage and stuff too, and I wouldn't put that necessarily on. Like there's people that I definitely look up to.
Yeah, so you're not a parrot head.
No.
You wouldn't have wanted to like meet Jimmy Buffett.
And like move into their commune and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever thought about it like this before.
Yeah, no. I think.
I guess we just gotta go straight to Jesus then. What happens if you meet Jesus?
I mean, we all will someday.
I guess so. Huh. I'm gonna have to prep myself.
It's just a
and
matter of. It's
look
just
him in the face and treat him like a person.
It's just a matter of how long you're gonna deal with them. Might not be for very long.
I mean, you might not get to beat him, right?
It might not be for very
Don't
long.
you gotta stop at the fucking Golden Gates first or something?
Yeah, it might just be like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" And he's like, "Nope."
Down with you. And then you're in the other party.
Yeah.
I hear that one hurts a lot. Melting flesh and things in your butt real hard.
I mean, can't threaten you with a good fucking time.
Yeah, pretty much. I heard a weird one about consciousness this week, where it's everybody wonders what happens to your consciousness when you die or whatever, right? But if you look at it as the consciousness already exists, right? You're just confined in this body. So it's not what happens after. It's just like you're just kind of stuck here for a minute.
Yeah, but it is.
And you go
weird.
back to what it was.
It is weird though. Like if you think about like, consciousness in that aspect, because like there's some people that are the exception to this. But if that's the case, like if your consciousness existed, but now you're just trapped in this meat suit, why can't you remember from before the meat suit? In fact, you can't even remember the early days of the meat suit. You know what I mean? You would
Yeah,
think,
but it's because it would have to be because it takes those initial years
Or-
just to figure out the
does
like triggers and stuff of this
or
world
does
and how
the
you
con-
react with it.
does the consciousness not actually have a memory? Consciousness is just the way you interact with the environment around. Consciousness doesn't actually have a memory.
Or maybe it has a memory, but it's not like linear. Maybe it's like everything all at once. You know what I mean? Everything that
It's
has happened
it's
and could
everything
happen
and
is
nothing all at once.
instantaneously. Yeah. Dang, it's gonna be wild to find out, isn't it?
Yep.
You know what would really suck? You die.
And just nothing fucking happens.
No. Something does happen and you find out. But then you find out it's like, that was way better and I should have just got here quicker.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
So, you know how like if you take the black pill, everything's a lie and everything's bullshit and all this, you know? Maybe that's exactly why they've always preached like, hey, you know, you don't go to heaven if you take your own life, because they knew that was the cheat code.
Maybe.
Is to end it sooner, and then it's way more better. It's fucking pretty morbid.
But yeah, but I just don't understand the point of that one. Because
Well,
even if they knew it was better, like they would go quicker too.
True. And how would they know it was better?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, they would.
You don't know until you're there.
I guess they would know the same way. The same way like real devout Christians know that there's a God. You know, belief.
Yeah.
Right?
Which, in a sense, makes sense. Because I don't even think it's witchcraft at this point, right? This is proven science that you can make your own reality.
You can.
It's like a proven thing now.
Well, yeah.
You can will your ideas into existence
Yeah, absolutely.
and create your environment. It's fucking. This is bonkers.
To an extent, yeah. Like you can't. I mean, I'm sure you can if you really put enough intent into it. But typically, I mean, you can typically make like smallish adjustment type things.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really like. I mean, I'm sure you can, like I said, but.
No, dude, I think you can make huge adjustments.
You think so?
Yeah. And quickly too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like real quick. I think it's all just like it's all witchcraft.
So,
But it's
sort
like,
of witchcraft in the sense of like not a standard MO,
yeah.
not a standard.
But
mode
like,
of
well, like
operation.
you could do like the simple thing, just the grateful list every morning.
Yeah,
In no time flat, every day is better all day long,
yeah,
which completely changes your reality.
yeah.
I think that's a fucking drastic change.
You can trick yourself too. It's fucking crazy how you can trick.
Yeah, and then that's
trick
the
your
science
mind.
stuff behind it,
Yeah.
because it's been proven that your brain doesn't know the difference of when you're telling yourself a lie
Yeah.
and believing it, or when like something's really happened.
Well, and that's why like people that are pathological liars, at some point they forget. Like if they tell a lie for so fucking long, they forget that it's a lie.
Yeah, they live
Like,
in that reality.
even though
tunnel.
they made that lie up.
Yep.
Like that's now reality because they don't remember any other way, you know? And that's
shit.
pretty fucking nuts. It's pretty nuts. But yeah, I'll be sitting in meetings. I'll be in meetings that I fucking hate. And like I'll just start like telling myself I'm having fun. And it like
It makes it better.
makes it so much better.
Yeah. Because, the Bible a little devolved, dude. If you can't change your predicament, you change your perspective.
Yeah, I'll literally just sit there and I'll start smiling and like chuckling at stuff and like cracking little jokes with people, and it immediately gets back. Everybody on the call can it's fucking wild.
I've always wondered how someone makes it through a normal workday. This is how, huh?
It's not that. It's usually not that bad. Like the days themselves aren't that bad. It's usually just like the meetings that get. The meetings are pretty brutal.
I could see that. Yeah, especially in meetings because it's kind of you're just waiting your turn. You listen to a bunch of shit that probably doesn't matter, and then you're just like stuck in fucking detention.
And the biggest problem with like the typical like corporate, I guess, structure now, is that most meetings could easily be emails, but then things that are handled via email should be meetings.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like all these emails will go back and forth, and it's like we could have squashed this with a 15-minute meeting quick. Right?
Yep.
Instead, we spent 2 days emailing back and forth. But we could have sent one email, but instead we have 25 people on this call for a fucking hour and 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Like it's all kind of backwards.
I could see that. I've been doing backwards things at the studio recently, but one of the things that clicked, we had a studio meeting like 2 weeks ago. 2 days after the meeting, I was like, oh, I'm trying to get everyone on the same page, and that's never going to work because everybody's got a different life, and they have different needs. Mm-hmm. I have to have individual meetings with each person and find out what their fucking goals are and figure out how to meet them there. Mm-hmm. Or else the group thing never works. I've been trying to do it as a group since this place open, and I'm like, oh, it's not going to work that way.
It's the same thing with like corporate. If you're in a corporate gig, like they do performance reviews. You don't do performance reviews and discuss your fucking your career goals as a group. You do it individually.
Yeah. Yeah, it clicked because I was asking certain questions, and it wasn't necessarily a hesitation I was getting from everyone. But there was something in the air, and I was like, what is that I'm feeling? I don't know what it is. I need to think about it. Yeah, 2 days later, it hit. I was like, oh, I'm asking questions that probably should be in a more private setting, a one-on-one, so that I can get them to open up more and give me more information about what they're needing. Like maybe they're uncomfortable saying it in front of 4 people. Well, that's all it really was. And I was like, oh, shit.
Well, really what I think those conversations really do, I don't think it's so much about, especially if you look at it in the context of a corporate setting. I don't think those like discussions about what are your career goals and like performance evaluation type things and reviews. I don't know that there's so much to determine what the next step up or whatever for you personally is. I think really they're more gauging whether or not your career aspirations and goals align with the company's aspiration and goals. So in your case, you are the company. Mm-hmm. You have to set your goal up here, right. Like your company's goal, this establishment's goal. And now when you have these individual discussions with tenants, and you discuss their goals and aspirations, if it doesn't align with what your goals are,
you have to figure exit strategy.
Then there's a hurdle there's an obstacle you have to overcome.
Yep. That's funny how there's been so many things I've been stumbling on that totally align with a lot of like corporate regular business things, but just stumbling on through trial and error. It's funny.
Corporate business. I mean, it's structured like life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really no different than your household.
It is, and it's really just a model because we're in this weird situation where there's just so many people now. How do you keep all these people going, and how do you keep all the production lines up so that everybody gets the shit they want? That's really the only reason it exists, right? Yeah. Sometimes I find it funny how much people hate like corporate America. But at the same time, it's like we built the thing. I mean, so it'll function.
I mean, the funniest shit, I guess it's not really funny. It's kind of ironic. But a lot of these like groups that protest corporations and all this shit, a lot of those groups are semi-militant groups. Mm-hmm. Militant groups are legitimately structured just like a corporation. like with their hierarchies. They're
Yeah.
literally structured just like a corporation.
It's so weird.
They even in the military they even call them companies. It's Bravo Company. It's whatever.
Yeah, just in corporation, it feels very similar to communism, correct? It's like a top-down fucking food chain. There isn't so much of a like, all the people at the bottom can just get together and all of a sudden everybody at the top has to listen. I mean, that does happen. There are unions and shit. Things do change, but
Here's the thing: you can, but you said it earlier. There's so many people, right?
mm-hmm.
So like you can try to do that, but you're rolling the dice because there's a lot of other people that'll gladly backfill your position for you. Like,
Right.
So like it's definitely a roll of the dice if you want to go down that path. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But right now, the younger generation, a lot of them they have a different work ethic than this older generation that's kind of going out. So things are changing. It's getting a lot more laxed in the corporate, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, right? But I see a lot of quality kind of going down.
What do you mean when you say quality?
Oh, a lot of these younger folks that are being put into some sort of managerial positions, they're not exactly ready for it. They don't have the experience, but they paid their dues and went to all this college,
Mm-hmm.
and now they think they're owed that position, and they get that position, and then they end up essentially ruining entire industries because they weren't ready for that role yet.
Right. Who else would fill that role?
Someone with experience, but not necessarily the college pedigree.
Is there a gap in that role? Like an age gap?
No, it's not. It's not an age gap thing. So, like,
It's just a change of rules where they want that paper.
The industry. I'm in construction management, and when I first got into construction management, they didn't have construction management as a major in college.
Right.
It wasn't a fucking thing. Like, in order to be a project manager or whatever, you started out on a shovel, and then you worked up to a foreman, and then you worked up to a superintendent, whatever, right? You worked your way up the ladder, and by the time you became a project manager, you had touched almost every position below you.
Mm-hmm.
So you knew exactly what it took to do this role or to fill this role, whatever, right? Then a bunch of people that sucked at managing projects decided to start teaching how to manage projects at colleges,
Yeah.
right? And they all sucked at doing it. Otherwise, they would be managing construction projects instead of teaching it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because there's a whole bunch more money to be made doing that than teaching it. So they teach it, and there's a multitude of ways to come to the same result, right? And they teach their way, which probably sucked. That's why they're not doing it. And then all these kids come out of college, and they think that's the only way to do things. And they're just siloed into this one narrow way of thinking. And it's somewhat wrong anyways. And then they get thrown into a position with way too much responsibility and decision-making ability, and they end up making bad decisions and costing companies money.
Yeah, and all it is a rule change. They just want somebody with that piece of paper.
Correct.
So it makes it impossible for the tradesmen to move up
Correct.
because they would have to stop working to go to college later in
Correct.
life.
It's a pay to play barrier to entry type thing.
So what's the course correction? Is there one?
It goes in cycles. It's going back to experience.
It has
Like
to.
it's going.
Because people would get tired of losing money.
It currently is going back to experience.
Good.
Because
Experience trumps everything. Dude.
I agree.
There's no substitute for experience, and the only way to get that experience is to live life.
Mm-hmm.
There's no shortcut to that.
Truthfully, the best experience, at least in the construction world, some of the best experience is in failing projects.
Yes.
in shitty projects that are horrible, those are the ones you learn the most on.
Dude, if you're not failing, you're not learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not making mistakes, you're not learning. I
No.
remember being a younger tattoo artist and thinking I had some things figured out.
You never do, dude.
Dude, the older you get, the more you realize just how much dumber you are every day.
Yeah. Well,
I think that's the only like kind of wisdom.
No, I don't think everybody thinks that way.
Then people aren't fucking making mistakes. They're not trying hard enough then.
So
Yeah, if you're not fucking shit up every day, then you're not learning
So I
nothing.
talked my wife and I talk about this shit all the time because she's always kicking around.
Oh, hang on. We got to pause real quick. How fucking comfy is this goddamn couch, dude?
It's not super comfy, but compared to the black one,
You don't think this is super comfy?
I mean, it's comfy.
Dude. Maybe that's what it is. I sat on the black one so many times.
It's way more better than
Oh,
the
no.
black
This one fucking
I
rules.
still like the chair better.
I mean, the chair is kind of the shit.
Still like the chair better.
Just get 9 of those chairs. Okay, you and your wife talk about all the time.
She wants to expand that. She's been talking, kind of kicking around the idea of expanding her salon. But she's got all this self-doubt and all this stuff. And she'll be talking about people that she knows. She's like, this person's kind of a dum-dum, and they've started a business and expanded it and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, but that might be kind of like a superpower for them, because right now,
If you're smart,
you're overthinking the shit out of everything, and
dude,
you got all
you're
this
gonna talk yourself out of everything.
self-doubt.
Yep.
Because you're realistic, you're living in the real world, so you're like, I don't know, I don't really know this stuff. Other people are running around out there, fucking can hardly read, and they're like, fuck yeah, I'll start that, because they don't know what they don't fucking know. They have no clue. They have no awareness of anything, and they just fucking start it, and sometimes it works out for them.
I would say that I fall into that dum-dum category. But
Really?
also I fall into a category, I'm very aware of this trait that I have. It's that I know that I can problem solve.
You can figure it out.
And I can figure any problem out on the fucking fly, dude, and we'll make it work.
Yep.
So, yeah, I pull the trigger every time. And a lot of times I fail and it crashes and burns. But I can't be 65 and wonder what if. I can't do it, dude.
Honestly,
it's not in me.
I'm a procrastinator. I can't. I'll overthink the fuck out of something until I can't. Until I'm forced into figuring it the fuck out and just doing it. Then I'm good. Like part of it is
Well, sometimes I do that too. Sometimes I'll YouTube University some shit I don't have a grasp of until I feel like I know enough of the ins and outs so that once I'm there and I'm fucking it up, I'll be able to figure it out instead of having to pause on it for 2 weeks to backpedal.
yeah.
I'll do that.
Even with what I do, the first managerial type role that I got coming out of the field was being a scheduler. And the guy that gave me the opportunity was like, hey, do you know anything about scheduling? And I was like, nope. And he said, well, you're about to figure it out. I said, okay.
Yeah.
They gave me a laptop with the fucking software on it, and I went to fucking around, YouTube and shit, watching videos, playing with
figure it
shit,
out.
fucking with shit, trying to figure, okay, that does this, okay. And I mean, fucking gee whiz, just bouncing off fucking walls, just wandering through this path, and at some point kind of got it fucking figured out, fucked enough shit up, made enough mistakes that I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I got this figured out. I know I can fix it if I break it. So it took it also took that fear away of because I knew okay, if I break it I can fucking fix it.
Anything.
It's not that big.
It doesn't matter what you break, you can
Yeah.
fix it. Yeah. Every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a big one, that fear deterrent. What happens if this goes sideways? It's no, you go into it knowing it's going sideways.
Yeah, and my wife says this to me all the time. I'll just around the house, I just fix stuff or whatever, right? Is it ever a fucking perfect fucking fix?
No.
Very fucking rarely.
No, dude.
Very rarely. But is it fucking
You know what happens most of the time when you pay someone to come do that perfect thing? it's still not gonna be perfect.
Yeah, and I look at it, and I'm like, oh, I could have done that. That's
Yeah.
all that. That's all that it takes.
Yep.
Like that's it. Okay, I could do that. So like, is it fucking first class shit? No, but is it like, is anybody else gonna like walk past and be like, oh, that's fucked off? No,
Right.
nobody's ever gonna notice that it's like it's an okay repair. Like everybody's gonna be like, oh yeah, it's fucking repaired. And my wife is always talking about how she's like, God, I'm so fucking thankful that like I have a husband.